Welcome back to our first combined final women's category here from Hachioji, and thank you for watching all my reports so far, for your comments, your input, your feedback. And if you haven't watched any of the reports yet, or you're missing some rounds, you can watch them here. The link is somewhere around here. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. You can still do this here. And now we start with speed. And our finalists are Aleksandra Miroslaw, reigning speed champion from Poland, races against Mori, Janja Garnbret versus Petra Klingler, Futaba Ito against Shauna Coxsey, and Miho Nonaka against Akiyo Noguchi. And we start with Aleksandra Miroslaw here against Mori, who is by far not the best speed climber, and then starting against the speed world champion. Yeah, we can see that even the speed world champion can slip sometimes and run a slow time of 10 seconds. Still quick enough to beat Mori. So in our next round we had Janja Garnbret against Petra Klingler. Janja a little bit struggling head to head, and then at some point she slipped and Petra won this round. I'm not showing all of the rounds. I'm showing a lot of slipping because this is essentially what happened. Akiyo slipped, Miho slipped, Futaba slipped. Everyone slipped sooner or later, except for Mori. She was so slow and still controlled, so she has a lot of potential to increase, to get better. I don't want to be mean, it's just like too many races, and Mori is by far the slowest, but a hug by Janja Garnbret should make up for it. And if our speed world champion does not slip, Miss Miroslav here from Poland, then it looks something like this. Even Petra Klingler is 3 seconds slower. Watching speed live is really entertaining, but in the end, in a recap, it's just about who's coming 5th and 6th here, and Futaba is finishing in 5th position, Janja in 6th, Akiyo 7, and Mori, as mentioned before, 6th. This race is about who's going into the final against Aleksandra Miroslaw, and Miho struggled at this spot here. On the last move, Miho didn't hit the biggest foothold right, so Shauna came into the final round. Miho is a little bit devastated. This is the second semi-final round. This is the race for position number 3. Miho struggled again and Petra took the 3rd place. She is quite happy about it. Miho, I think she's a little bit sad and devastated. And now we are able to see Shauna Coxsey already in 2nd position in the speed final. A valuable, really important position going into the next rounds. She's happy about it. And as we were able to see, a lot of the speed climbing comes down to the falls, to the mistakes of your opponents. I mentioned it already in the men's qualifying round. Of course, it's important that you are a really good speed climber, but sometimes it feels more important not to make any mistakes. We see that Aleksandra here is not doing any mistakes, so she's by far superior and finishes in 1st position for the speed round of the first 8 starters. Current standings after the speed round, and as we can see, if you win speed and if you are a really good speed climber, you will end up at least with 64 points maximum, which is quite good. So imagine a speed climber who's also quite okay at bouldering or lead climbing, or a really soft lead route where a speed climber can excel with his or her speed. It's a really good chance to get a medal. Anyway, after speed we go straight into bouldering. The bouldering format changed compared to last year's. We have more starters. Instead of 6 starters, we have 8 starters now, because the IOC/IFSC wants to have more different nations taking part in the final to get more viewers. Of course, that's really appealing. And because of this, they lowered the amount of boulders, the number of boulders. So we will only have 3 boulders, which is a little bit harder, more difficult for the route setters. But anyway, these nice animations make up for what's happening next. Boulder number 1, Mori again, finishing last in speed, starts here. And we start with a dynamic double clutch move. You had to swing your left foot onto the first volume and catch both huge side pulls at the same time with your left and right hand. After this, traverse. We've seen so many traverses. I can't remember the last time I've seen that many traverses. But yeah, dynamic sideways movement. Of course, there has to be another traverse because this isn't even the bonus. This is quite a hard zone. Sorry, not bonus. In her third try, she managed to catch the double clutch again. We can see that it's blocked on the left side. Then she matches and can cross over to this hold and move out to the left. As mentioned before, that's her third try. There's a penultimate. There's a screw on this volume, which she grabs right now. And now it's a powerful open move to traverse further to the left. This is the zone, and Mori is a fighter. We've seen it already in the lead final. She's so good at not letting go. Just not letting go. Once she has a hold in her hand, she's so good at pulling and fighting. This hold is blocked as well, and only one move is left to get her to the top. It seems like a mantle between these two volumes, but how to get up there? I honestly didn't know how to do this move, and I figured out I would go with my right hand first as well and reach a little bit higher. But she reconsidered, and then she stepped higher with her right foot onto the screw-on, swapped her right hand around into a push, into a palm push, and she found a stable mantle position and finishing position in between these two volumes. Really creative and nice climbing. Also pretty flexible here. She's almost stepping above her head. Yeah, I did not imagine this to be the way to climb it. Maybe it's one of the two ways to climb it, because there is another way. And Akiyo, the most flexible climber, I thought up to this point, but Mori maybe proved me and Akiyo wrong, because she didn't even think about this. She tried to climb it the way I would have climbed it, just wrapping the right hand, and then she tried to go higher and higher, and then she used her left knee. I didn't think about the left knee, but it works just to get a little bit stability and move the right foot higher. Flash for Akiyo Noguchi in boulder number 1. One more split comparison how Akiyo on the right side used her left knee, and Mori just used flexibility and a little bit more power because she has to push really hard with her right hand. But once she started pushing, she's in a good position. Akiyo as well. So it does not really matter what you do. You just have to climb it to the top and find the stable position and finish boulder number 1. Impressive. Two very different ways to climb it. I like that, and I think the bouldering round started quite well. Reigning double world champion Janja Garnbret didn't have any problems at the bottom part. She climbed really well. Then she lifted her right knee, didn't find any space for her left knee. Right volume became greasy. She couldn't lift her left foot, but she still had 3 minutes left. In her next try, she slipped off the hold, and in her last try, she tried to jump with her left foot immediately, couldn't stick it, couldn't do the move, didn't finish boulder number 1. Akiyo on the right side of the screen uses her left knee to smear, so everything what she's doing after this, every movement of her body is inside and closer to the wall of her left knee. There's also some space on the volume to get her right foot up. Also, she's really flexible, while Janja is using her right knee, and she's already planting the right knee on the left side of the volume. We can see that her hip is a little bit further away from the wall, and as soon as Akiyo starts pushing with her left knee, she has the possibility to lift her right foot up quickly next to it, because her hip is really close to the wall. While Janja, we can see it here, she doesn't have any space. Also, she's smearing really hard with her left foot. The left foot on the wall around the arete has a lot of weight on it, so it's really hard now to get it over her knee and left of her right leg. I never had to analyze a knee beta like this before. I don't know where to draw circles, lines or arrows, so I think this is obvious. None of the other starters, Futaba wasn't able to do the move. Miho considered kicking up her right foot. She's doing it right here, but instead of getting her right hand higher, she kept her right hand low, and instead of pushing onto the right foot, she got back into another position, wrapped the left volume. I don't know what her idea was. I think she wanted to escape via the invisible holes on the left. She was not able to climb it. Petra Klingler in her first try looked really sore and really exhausted. She was not able to do the traverse to the left. We can see how hard she's already fighting. I think speed and already a couple of days climbing before took everything out of her. So she did the traverse, but yeah, she didn't really do it. And this is her first and best try. And then only one more starter came, Shauna Coxsey, who needed one try to stick the start move. And after this, she's quite good at slab climbing. And apparently she wrapped a volume before in her life, because she was able to cut loose and get her right foot up first and then do the push sequence. A little bit more powerful than Mori and maybe more graceful than the knee beta by Akiyo Noguchi, promising, because she was the last starter to finish boulder number 1. Sorry, I spoiled because one starter was still left, but Aleksandra had a lot of trouble doing the first move. Then eventually, after 3 minutes, she stuck the first move and couldn't do anything after this. I watched the stream live, and one of the MCs commenting the stream said that she's really strong, and that if she would go into a normal bouldering gym, climbing gym, she would always be one of the best climbers. I have to disagree, because she may be strong, but she's not versatile. She's only doing mainly one thing, that's speed climbing. We can see it later. She's not used to look for new methods, new ways, and she's also not that powerful as you think she is. That's my claim, and she wouldn't be one of the strongest in all of the gyms. It's just that she's really good at speed climbing, but she lacks a lot of other skills, which we can see later here in boulder number 2. But first we see Mori. Boulder number 2 started with 4 points on this volume. We can see Mori standing on a screw-on. The screw-on is black on a black volume, so it's kind of invisible. To lean to the left, she used a toe hook in the roof. We can see here in her third or whatever try, with the toe hook you were able to go to the pocket and then release the toe hook and swing out to the left to these two Ike's golf balls. Together they create one golf ball, half circles, semicircles, that's the word. She jammed in between those two, had the zone. Then she went with her feet first to the right, a heel hook on the left makes it a little bit easier to bump into the screw-on. This is a dual tex flat hold. They are really slippery and really thin. The heel hook does not work on the left side. You have to go open. Do it, please. Yes, she went open. Don't do it too quick, not too powerful. You have to do it with a good timing. And then she tried to raise her right foot and jump out of this position. Unfortunately, she lost control of her left foot. I think the left foot smeared on the white dual tex, and this is slippery. In her last try, she couldn't do it anymore. So only one top for Mori. Now we are able to see Akiyo, as mentioned before, with a toe hook, then into the pocket, and then there were different ways to do it. We've seen Mori jumping straight to the left, while Akiyo matches hands in this kilter pocket. I think it's a kilter hold, and goes to the next part. The next part is really interesting. It's powerful, it's tricky. You could waste a lot of time and effort and power, but you were also able to save a lot of time and effort. And Akiyo, we know she's always looking for the right way to climb it, climbs back, makes up for her mistake, pulls over to the right side with her right foot already out on the right side, goes into the same position which I did. I think she considered for a moment a heel hook. Yeah, there's the heel hook, but it doesn't help you. Maybe you are able to go to the next one, but then how do you go to the last hold? Because you cannot push higher out of the heel hook. That's what Akiyo thought as well. And then she bumped with her left hand. That's such a nice precision move. And jumped to the last hold. And this is not a flash. This is second try for Akiyo because she slipped off the start volume in her first try. But Janja Garnbret, who did not slip in her first try, flashed boulder number 2, her first top in this bouldering round. Futaba climbed the lower part. She jumped into the shoulder. Then she climbed until the penultimate and slipped off. Fell off again on the last move. I think what's remarkable about the younger climbers is that they sometimes change successful betas or ways to climb something when they're tired into something unsuccessful, because now instead of jumping against it with her left hand, she jumps to the open left side, didn't stick the move again. She did it, I think, in her last try, but then she couldn't finish at the top. Miho, on the other hand, tried something entirely different. Then she tried for the first move to jump into the pocket and into the toe hook. I don't know whether they really talked in isolation or whether I and Akiyo just changed quickly their ways to climb it. Did not matter, because as soon as Miho climbed the lower part, she was also able to climb the higher part, and Petra Klingler was able to climb the lower part. Then she struggled, and this is why she struggled. This will be a little bit confusing now because we have two different camera angles and two different ways. First, we start with Akiyo. She has her right hand on the left, pulls herself to the left, left hand on the right, pulls herself to the right, and with these two side pulls, she frees her right leg, and she moves her right leg further to the right pocket as a foothold, and with this pocket she can release her left foot because her right hand still stays in place. Then she puts a heel hook onto the left volume again and can bump up with her left hand, everything without losing control or cutting loose. On the other hand, Petra, she has already her right hand higher and her left hand on the screw on as well. Now she has to squeeze and to cut loose, and we see and we know what happens. She slips off and falls down. It is possible to move the right foot to the right here, but because she's doing it from the worse holds compared to Akiyo's holds, and she needed more tries, and Akiyo climbed just a little bit smarter, Petra maybe lacks a little bit of power, doesn't have the power to launch and to jump anymore for the last hold, and doesn't stick the move. Just a tiny difference. While Akiyo's right foot is not below the roof, it's just hanging in the free space in the air. Petra's right foot is underneath the roof, has to go a longer way and maybe weighs her a little bit down. It looks like it's a different angle. It looks like she starts this move also a little bit lower with her hip, and just a little bit can make a big difference, because only 2 or 3 centimeters more or higher and also a little bit of harder pulling could have guaranteed her a top in boulder number 2. Shauna slipped off the penultimate hold, so she tried to skip it at all and tried to jump straight to the top hold. Almost succeeded, but finished without a top in boulder number 2. Also Aleksandra, who was not able to stand only on the volume, didn't even consider standing on the volume first and looking for a stable position. She tried for 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes at least to jump double, didn't find a solution, and that's what I'm talking about. Don't get stuck into trying one thing over and over again. We were able to see Mori sitting on the first black volume, and on a volume sticking out that far, you have to find for different solutions, maybe pushing first onto the yellow handhold on your right and then going slowly from there, but she got stuck in one pattern of not thinking and just moving. And there were different solutions to this problem, which we could see in move number 1, where Akiyo just cut loose with both hands in the pocket. Petra opted to go for the push against and minimized the momentum with pushing with her left hand against the volume, and Janja just doing Janja things, looking for the open left side and sticking the momentum, most of the momentum, with her right arm. Looking at the second column, Janja Garnbret moved into second place, bouldering only, and Shauna Coxsey is still leading the combined ranking, which can change with every try, every boulder, and boulder number 3 looked like a boulder which could change everything again. A boulder I would have set here using the slab, the overhanging angle underneath the slab, to create a balancy, pushy start here, the mantle onto these two balls here. Mori, the smallest competitor, but also one of the most flexible competitors, makes the mantle look quite easy. She steps quite far outside of the volumes. And now how do we do this step? Instead of going quick, she moves slowly to the left, goes down, moves and shifts the center of gravity slowly on top of the left foothold, stands up again. Everything is quite controlled, nothing is risky, but now standing in this corner, as mentioned before, the panels are not coated, they don't have any friction, so she's doing a blind step back onto the next foothold. The zone hold has a blocker in it, we can see it later, and as soon as you reach around the red, around the corner without the left foot, I think you lose control. Mori is in a stable position here, so she can look and go slowly to the left. I think this is also something with what plays with your head, because you're in a stable position, you can start to think. Mori started to think, lost balance in her second try. She's aiming to go to the zone hold first, didn't get the zone hold, didn't get the foothold. In her last try, she tried to go down with a foot again, and it was really hard. We've seen it the try before to judge whether this is controlled or not, because she just used it on her way down. A lot of flexibility used here, also wasted or spent a lot of time trying to get into a stable position. Her left foot is on the red hold, but she didn't feel really comfortable. Time was running out, so she opted to go really quick, which we can see in a second. Yes, was this a controlled zone hold? I would say no. Judges didn't give her a zone, so the next starter up was Akiyo Noguchi, quite flexible as well. Had struggled a little bit more with the mantle, maybe because she's just a little bit taller, and then she went not slow again, she went quick. And we can see in this replay what happens if you go quick. Her hip turns open, it rotates slightly to the left, and the hip is not parallel to the wall anymore, sticks out, and because the corner doesn't have any friction to bump against, she falls off. With only 1 minute to go, I speeded this one up. She didn't consider trying something different. No, Akiyo Noguchi wasn't flexible at all in her problem solving. She did it again and fell down. Didn't even get a zone in boulder number 3. Janja Garnbret didn't even get the mantle done. She was not able to match her foot next to her hand. And now I'm zooming into Mori and to Janja Garnbret and try to take a look here just at the right foot placement. We're zooming in to 720 low definition, but I think we can see that I's foot on the right side is a little bit further away from the wall, which gives her a little bit more room and space to move her hip, while Janja's right foot is a little bit closer to the wall. Watch the shadows, watch the little space between their feet and the wall. I didn't draw a line here, I just think it's obvious, even though it's really, really narrow and a small distance, which makes it possible or impossible to lift the left foot and rotate your hip to do so. Don't get me wrong, Janja was able to do the mantle, and now take a look at her right foot, how she jumped further away from the wall, further and further, and with this position she's able to lift her left foot higher onto the left starting hold. But that's only the mantle. This is not the difficult move. She also tried to do it quick to the left with 30 seconds left, another quick try, and she tried to use the zone to get into the jump position. And I'll tell you, like, one day Janja will hurt herself really bad doing stuff like this. She's still enjoying it, even though she didn't get the zone, and no one did, I can tell you. I just wanted to point one more thing out. One of the commentaries said, MCs said on the stream that Miho's shoulder is injured. Yes, Miho's shoulder is injured, but that does not hold her back from doing this move. She had a straight stretched arm. Her left shoulder is injured, but this is not the reason why she didn't do the move. No, she was too close to the wall with her right foot. We've seen it before, and this is not due to her injury of her left shoulder. So please don't believe what they said. I'm pretty sure. I bet everything I owe, which is not that much, but yeah, it's not her left shoulder, which makes it impossible to do this move. Yes, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening to me. I think another angle shows it quite well how important the placement of your right foot is to keep your hip close to the wall and to be able to open and rotate your hip to get your left foot higher. Doesn't help at all with the rest of the bowler, but I think the route setters assumed they would be able to solve this position quicker and to go slow, maybe like Mori. Does not matter. This took 24 minutes. Not really entertaining, and that's what happens if one out of the three bowlers is not necessary, doesn't give anything for the ranking. So Akiyo still leading, and Mori still in 8th position, so she goes into the lead route first. And as mentioned before, she's a monster when it comes to lead, and I will show her climbing the full lead route. I have to speed this section up. A lot of 360 holes, some of them are blocked, but sooner or later the last yellow 360 hole is the biggest one, and this is where she almost fell off. Matching the huge semicircle on the lower part, we've seen her almost fall off, but when we know one thing, it is she is a fighter, as mentioned before, and after this she just kept on cruising. Even though some of the moves like this cross underneath looked really difficult for her, she did not give up and she didn't change her speed. She's always in a really calm. Okay, I changed her speed of climbing because this section is not really exciting, not that interesting. Just a little bit of left, right. We've seen it before, a lot of traversing on this wall. And this was supposed to be a jump. The route setters told the MCs on the stream or before the stream, but it was not. If you kept your right foot low where Mori's foot is, then you were able to see that she could easily move into the shoulder. She didn't even rest in this position. No, she kept on cruising to the next hold, and then she reached already the third panel, which is not that overhanging anymore. She reached this huge two-hand undercling. Took a little break. She can shake just everywhere. I don't know how she's doing this. I'd like to have her endurance. And then she entered this difficult section into the Gaston shoulder moves, just a blocked volume, which leads into really tiny, crimpy section. She kicks over with her left foot dynamically below her shoulders. I don't know. I've seen her falling off like on every move here in this section, I have to tell you. This huge sloper dish. She was shaking and taking a break again. And I don't know what she's crimping there. Is she crimping the volume itself? Most of the other climbers matched hands in this circle. Not Mori. She crossed into the next screw-on moved to the left, good hip placement, moved really high with this undercling ledge, left foot onto the dual text again, stepped risky out into this red dish, and I'm not speeding this one up because this is just too exciting. I've seen it already 2 times today, but I can tell you, this was astonishing, remarkable, one of the best lead climbs I've ever seen over the last couple of weeks. And then it was quite obvious that this route finished with a dynamic move, a dynamic finish, to see what you got in your bag of skills. She was able to take a break again, and then Mori, the youngest competitor in the final, jumped into this double Gaston and topped the route in 5 minutes. Thank you for this show. Amazing. Remember how Mori struggled here? Well, Futaba Ito makes it look quite easy. She's looking for a foothold, stands only on her right foot, and has the volume also a little bit higher on the left side. Easy doing this move. On the other hand, she took a break on this side undercling, side underpole, and moves into the third panel, and at some point her shoulders are about to open. She tries to match feet, her shoulders are really weak and in a bad spot, and she falls down. Petra Klingler, on the other hand, she tried to jump into this hold, did not work. Miho Nonaka also had to fight really hard. She also tried to jump into this hold. I don't know why. As mentioned before, 4 Japanese climbers, Mori did not jump. And then the next starter out was Janja Garnbret. And it was all about whether Janja was able to top this route. Because if she was able to top this route, Akiyo and Shauna had to top it as well. And maybe even in a quicker, faster time than Janja, who's usually one of the fastest climbers on the lead wall. She didn't struggle at all with the lower section. She also did not jump, and from this point on she switched into cruise control as well. She's only allowed to cruise for a little bit because at this spot, this is the spot where Futaba fell, so we will take a look why Janja was able to do it and Futaba wasn't. Janja gets the side undercling a little bit higher with her right hand. Take a look at Futaba. She gets it a little bit lower. Her right arm is bent. We can see how her elbow points outwards while Janja's elbow is straight, the arm is straight, and her upper body is closer to the wall. She's also clinging, kind of sitting on the foothold and switching feet like this, while Futaba's both legs are pointing to the knees are pointing to the right. Her hip is further away from the wall in an uncomfortable, unstable position, and she falls off while she's trying to match feet and to move out with her right foot. But also a question of power, how hard you can pull on your left hand to keep your hip closer to the wall, and Janja can pull quite hard. With only 1 minute and 35 seconds left, she moved into the last section. She was standing on the rope, didn't slip. This was a moment, quite surprising. But she held on. She climbed into the position for the jump. And we know Janja isn't only powerful and good at moving, she's also the best when it comes to jumping. This time, hopefully not coming back to a countback, and she sticks the jump, clips the last quick draw with 1 minute left, and tops the route, which puts a lot of other climbers under pressure. Our speed world champion was not really used to climb a lead route after doing speed and bouldering, fell down really low at the wall, and I think this can and will improve. Who improved a lot at lead climbing was Akiyo Noguchi. Myself, I'm a big Akiyo fan, and I was cheering for Akiyo, and she climbed way quicker than Janja. I've never seen this before. Janja entered this with 1 minute 20, 1 minute 30, 1 minute something, but Akiyo reached this new high point with 2 minutes left. And all she had to do was top this route and climb quicker than Janja. And I was sweating, I was cheering, I didn't know what to do. She jumped over there, she cut loose, and then with the jump, she didn't stick it. She did not stick it. And still can't describe my feelings. I cannot describe her feelings. But this is where climbing is now. We have stories. This is something I was looking forward for a long time, that we have stories to tell. Adam not going straight to Tokyo. Akiyo so close to the gold medal. Of course, Shauna is still to come, but she knew that she didn't beat Janja yet, and Shauna came after this. And Shauna climbed pretty quick, but I think now we can see why, because she didn't have the endurance which she needed. She bumped here and fell. She climbed quite high, but there was another appeal, this time not against Adam, against Shauna for her right foot. I think this is it, where she was supposed to step onto a bolt plate. We cannot really see it. Her right foot is covering, supposedly stepping, touching the bolt plate. As soon as she moves her right foot now, we will see that there's a bolt plate just underneath, below. I cannot say it. Who am I to judge? I'm not a judge. The judge ruled and she got voted down. Her ranking got dropped lower. So here is the T-nut thingy. And anyway, this is why Janja Garnbret is the triple world champion, and Akiyo, unfortunately for her, only got the silver medal. While Janja uses the right side pull for a long time, it's more like a drive-by, followed by a little hop. Akiyo jumped and launched way earlier. Her hip is further away from the wall, and unfortunately she was not able to stick this move, which would have guaranteed her gold. Just one move away from gold. So close, and still no cigar. Congratulations. This is the judge telling Shauna that she didn't make it that high, that she used a bolt plate. Oh god, please stop me right here. We are 37 minutes in. I'm deeply sorry. This took way longer than expected, but I tried to combine all three categories, disciplines, to show you at least something what happened here, why, and why Janja Garnbret is the 3 times world champion from Hachioji. Impeccable, awesome performance, and she is just the best. But on the other hand, there's a story to be written. Can Akiyo Noguchi come back next year? She proved that she can climb lead as quick, even quicker than Janja. She just fell at the jump. Shauna Coxsey, she trained really good and really smart the whole year. She didn't attend that many World Cups this season. She focused only on Hachioji, which was a smart decision. And I think we could also see how smart climbing can not only win you a competition, it can also help you to get a good result, because it's so much climbing. We will see each other again tomorrow with a male category, and Toulouse, the last Olympic qualifying event, will also be really exciting, because I think it's only a 2-day event. It's not 7, 8, 9 days straight full of climbing. It's only the top 20 of the World Cup circuit trying to qualify for the Olympic Games. Congratulations again, Janja Garnbret, and congratulations you out there for listening and watching that long. If you really did that, please let me know in the comments. If you just watched and listened to 38 minutes of Nikki, of myself talking. Please forgive me for all my spelling mistakes. It's 11:50 p.m. here in Germany, and I'm trying to upload this before the male category starts tomorrow morning. So watch this maybe with a coffee while you have brekkie. I will add timestamps so you can jump around. Nikki out, I love you, and please forgive me all my spelling mistakes. They are not on purpose. I try to improve every time, does not matter. I also try to improve the length of this video. If you haven't seen the combined thriller of the male category, please watch it now. This is the explanation why Adam didn't make it to Tokyo. Unfortunately, there will be a revenge, hopefully in Toulouse. See you tomorrow. Nikki out. Bye bye.